in the number 3 spot. Now Smith looking hard at Cogshell for the number 1 spot. Smith down on the inside. Cogshell up top. Smith works the bottom, slides up. Not enough time as Cogshell holds the number 1 spot. Smith right on the inside now into 3. Stevie Smith now through 3 and 4 takes the number 1 spot in that Mac Tool number 19. Dave Blaney now on the move in that Vibrant 10 car up into 4th, looking hard now at Pouch for the number 3 spot. Blaney goes to the bottom, gets underneath Pouch, they both slide up. Blaney in that US Print 10 car takes the number 3 spot, and now that quickly into 1, he goes into 2nd. Stevie Smith still out in front in that Goodyear 19. Running 2nd in that Shaver Nicoderm 10, Dave Blaney. And now Pouch challenging for the number 3 spot on the inside. Cogshell up top. Off the turn, or 2nd turn, that Zemco Tool and Die 1P of Billy Pouch takes the number 3 spot. That Viper chassis sponsored 3 of Cogshell running 4th. Also on the move, that York Excavating Cat Construction 4J, Jeff Shepard trying to get into that A-main transfer. Shepard on the inside takes the number 4 spot, but here comes Cogshell on the high side. Shepard down on the bottom. Shepard in that Cat Construction 4J takes the number 4 spot. And now Stevie Smith with the lead, but Dave Blaney closing in. The Mac Tool 19, the Vibrant 10 running 1st and 2nd. Blaney on the inside, turn 1. Smith on the high side still holds him off out of turn 2. Be the white flag one more time. Blaney dives to the bottom, this time through 3. Stevie Smith up to the challenge out of that 4th turn. One more lap for the Mac Tools 19. Here comes the Vibrant 10 on the inside. He slides up, and Stevie Smith up to the challenge down the backstretch. Winning the 3rd heat, the 19 out of New Oxford, Pennsylvania, Stevie Smith.
Tim Engler out of Princeton, Indiana, Pro Shot Kindle Oil J&J. Time on the 2nd heat, 3:05.0, 3:05 flat. Doug Clark taking a long look as they work to the white line. Joe Rowe charging to the front. The IRA specialist out of Wisconsin into the lead, the car number 61. Here comes Tyler Walker. Keep an eye on the youngster. From 10th to 3rd. He's in the 3rd turn working on the high side. Here comes Joe Rowe. Tyler Walker now running 2nd. Tyler Walker, ladies and gentlemen, putting on quite a show. Steering problems on the Mike Peters car, the 0C car right here in front of the main grandstand. Keep an eye on them as they work to the orange cone on the back chute. It's Joe Rowe. Back on the go button. Here comes Steve Quaylo, the white 6 car down on the bottom side. Past Adamson, now running 3rd. Tyler Walker on the go button hard as he charges into turn 1. Sets it up about 3/4 of the way up the raceway. He's working off turn number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Walker, now your leader in heat race number 4. Rowe falling to 2nd. Quaylo holding on to 3rd. Tim Engler running 4th in the event. Adamson to 5th. Here comes Frankie Kerr in the Schoaf 23S. Stan Schoaf, many years, a car owner on the racing circuit through the great Midwest. Your leader is still Tyler Walker. Working hard into turn number 2 under the Hall of Fame and down the back chute. Joe Rowe holding on to 2nd. Your race developing 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It's still Engler, Quaylo, and Frankie Kerr. Tyler Walker extending his advantage as he works down the long back chute into turn 3. It's Coelho and Kerr in your battle off turn 2 for that final transfer spot. And it's Frankie Kerr on the inside. Coelho about the middle of the raceway as they work under the scoreboard and off turn 4 side by side. As they work down the front chute under the green flag of Doug Clark. Walker working turn 3, followed by Rowe, Engler, Frankie Kerr now running in that final transfer spot in the 23S. Dropping to the low side of the raceway as he works off turn 4. Top 4 moving on to the Wednesday night qualifying feature here at the 37th running of the Amoco Knoxville Nationals. Tyler Walker starting to work into lap traffic as he works off turn 4. Still a sizable advantage over second place runner Joe Rowe. Engler holding on to that third spot, being chased by Frankie Kerr. Doug Clark unfurling the white flag as he watches Tyler Walker exit at turn number 4 and down the front chute. A white flag for the youngster, Tyler Walker. Joe Rowe, the veteran out of Kenosha, Wisconsin. Engler in the J&J, working on the bottom side. Kerr up to the high side. Let's bring him off the 4th turn. Ladies and gentlemen, the youngster, Tyler Walker. Frankie Kerr, one last challenge as he works off the 4th turn.
Third row, Keith Kaufman, a veteran, alongside of another veteran, Danny Smith. This is the 5th qualifying heat race, the top 4 to the main event tonight. Green flag. Into the first turn quickly on the outside. Breezy Whitworth at 96, but look at Sammy Swindell on the move. Front straight away, goes to second on the back straight. Sammy all the way to the front. From back to the front. Keith Kaufman down on the inside, takes over 4th. Billy Vielauer drops back into 5th. Sammy Swindell, the Cadillac Jet, is gone. Breezy Whitworth hanging on to 2nd place. Keith Kaufman up into 3rd. Chris Walraven running 4th. John Bankston is 5th. Sammy all alone. A race for 2nd place. Keith Kaufman drops down to the inside. Breezy Whitworth tries to come back to the inside, but Keith Kaufman hangs on, takes 2nd place. Breezy Whitworth 3rd. Chris Walraven 4th. John Bankston 5th. Up on the outside comes the 4 car. Danny Smith working on John Bankston for that 4th and final transfer spot. Excuse me, that's 5th. The 1st place car so far out in front. Well, Sammy can back it down, run it in 2nd gear. From last to first in less than 1 lap. Keith Kaufman holding a comfortable 2nd place. The race now for 3rd and 4th. Danny Smith has moved up into 5th place, but he's quite a ways back. John Bankston still running 6th. Sammy Swindell catching lap traffic in a heat race on 7 laps. Yellow, yellow. The 56 car of Chris Walraven sitting down inside of turn 4. Single file restart inside the orange cone, between the orange cone and the outside. There goes Sammy. Adios, amigos. Keith Kaufman running 2nd, a race for 3rd. Danny Smith on the inside. Sammy takes it all the way up to the fence. Whitworth, John Bankston takes over 4th. Whitworth drops back into 5th. John Bankston trying to look for that final transfer spot. Tonight's main event. Whoa! What a bit of driving as Bankston got sideways coming off turn 4. Silver Crown cars, sprint cars, wings or non-wing. There goes Sammy. And up on the inside comes Kenny Jacobs. Jacobs going for second. Hoffman stays on the top side. Kenny Jacobs down low. Dean Jacobs is now running 5th. Danny Smith is 4th. Kaufman back on the outside, takes over 2nd. Down to the inside comes Kenny Jacobs. White flag, 1 to go. And Kenny Jacobs takes over that 2nd spot. They'll be down this time with the checkered flag and runs the race for 4th. Dean Jacobs and Danny Smith. Smith on the inside, Jacobs outside. Sammy Swindell gets a checker down to the finish line.
Yellow lights off. We're green. C main underway. Lynn Thompson, that Thompson Motor Service Buckley chassis, 10T out in front. Running second. BJ's Country Kitchen, Mountain View Mortgaging 0C running second. Battle for that number 3 spot. Oklahomans, Shane Carson and Tommy Estes Jr. Estes Jr. in that FJ Construction in the number 3 spot now. Thompson out in front. Peters in the number 2 spot. Estes running 3rd. James Helms owned $12. Shane Carson in the number 4 spot. We're only taking 2 to the tail of the B. Right now, Pennsylvania's Lynn Thompson at Colony Racing Apparel's 10T out in front. Running second. At Earl's Mower Service 0C, Mike Peters. The race up front. Mike Peters on the inside, working on Thompson down the front chute. Peters takes the number 1 spot, going down the front chute on the inside. Mike Peters working the middle of the racetrack. We got Burke set sideways over in 3 and 4. We're back underway. Mike Peters out in front. Lynn Thompson second. Tommy Estes Jr. works the high side on Thompson, trying to get into that transfer. Now cuts down to the bottom. Here comes Breezy Whitworth. That Midwest Motorsports 96 in the number 4 spot, working on Estes for the number 3 position. Mike Peters in that BJ's Country Kitchen 0C out in front. And now Breezy Whitworth moves in the number 3 spot. Aggressor at 96. Lynn Thompson in that Colony Racing Apparel Buckley chassis 10T. And Whitworth on the inside takes the number 2 spot down the backstretch. Into turn 3, down on the bottom. Breezy Whitworth in the number 2 spot. Thompson back up on the high side by side, down by the flag stand into turn 1. Whitworth down on the bottom. Thompson works the high side. Breezy Whitworth out of Worthington, Missouri takes the number 2 spot. Newtown, Pennsylvania's Lynn Thompson running 3rd. Out in front, Wichita, Kansas, Mike Peters. Mountain View Mortgaging 0C of Mike Peters, your leader. Patrick Kent's Snyder and Son Trucking 96, Breezy Whitworth running in the 2nd and final transfer spot. Running 3rd, at Kreiner Engines, Thompson Motor Service 10T, Lynn Thompson. Running 4th, that F&J Construction AFCO Shocks 29, Tommy Estes. Estes now out of turn 2 on the inside, takes the number 3 spot from Lynn Thompson. White flag this time as Mike Peters comes out of that 4th turn. He'll have 1 more lap, leading the Amoco C feature. Running 2nd, Breezy Whitworth. running third, Tommy Estes Jr. Fourth now at 8J, John Bankston. Running fifth, Lynn Thompson.